to see that. We're going to get to our final topic where we continue our discussion from When They See Us. But before I do that, I just want to take a quick moment just to remind y'all, don't forget, like share, subscribe. Help us out. Like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. Hit all them buttons because, see, here's the thing. What y'all might not know, YouTube has exclusive content that you're not going to see on Instagram. Instagram has exclusive content that you're not going to see on Facebook. So we put different stuff on each platform. So y'all need to check us out on all platforms. You know what I mean? So if you only look at us on Instagram, you really need to check out YouTube and Facebook, you know, and vice versa. If you only look at us on Facebook, you're missing out if you're not checking us out on YouTube, because we do a lot of dope stuff where we, post different content and kind of mix it up a little bit. So definitely look out for that. All right. So as y'all know, we've talked about this a couple of episodes. You know, the documentary about the Central Park Five, now known as the Exonerated Five. Let's clap that up. Shit. That was the sound of one of the cops who hate them. Yeah. Damn. These motherfuckers is winning again. So, we talked a little bit about this, and, we've both relayed stories of similar things that we've gone through. So we want to kind of go back and talk a little bit about the parts we didn't get to discuss, because the very last episode is really dedicated to one person in particular, and that's Corey Wise. Yeah. Which, another thing I'm trying to figure out, sometimes they say Carrie, sometimes they say Corey, so I don't know which one it really is. Because I've heard him even say his name is Carrie. So it could be Carrie Wise, but either way. The last episode goes into his experience going from a child and growing up in the prison system and all the rough things that he went through, man. I mean, he had it rough, man. I mean, all the fights and the guard, the security, the correctional officers in there not really trying to help him. He had a little help, but it was so little, it was like almost unrecognizable.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, when they did the whole thing about his brother dying.
Yeah.
And I know what it's like to lose.
That was hard, man.
Yeah, I cried during that shit.
Yeah, so
I cried during that shit.
Yeah, y'all need to check that out.
The fact, it's bad that the sibling died. Right. But it was bad. It was bad enough that the sibling died. But the thing of it is, it's like now he's in jail. There's nothing really he can do.
He can't do nothing.
And then they're saying, "Oh, we're doing everything we can," and he just fucking spazzed out. Man.
Yeah,
I would have done the same thing, man.
Yeah. So y'all really need to check this out, man. If y'all haven't seen this docuseries, please go check it out. We don't want to give y'all so much, but while he's in jail, Corey does lose one of his siblings, and it's a sibling that the mother doesn't get along with, who's played by Niecy Nash. Who's Niecy Nash, right? Was it Niecy Nash with the mom? She was one of their moms. I can't remember. Yeah. It was her. But basically, and this was a sibling that he was close to, and so he had to get the news from the prison system. And it was really hard on him, because this is somebody he really held tight to, looked up to and all of that. So y'all need to go check it out, man. It really paints a picture of his life. And so, while he was in there, like the first day, the guard was like, yeah, let me know if there's anything else you could do for me. And he was just like, sir, I don't even know what you're talking about. Because he's a little kid. Mm-hmm. And so the guard is like, that's all right, just let me know if you can do anything for me. And so because he's being oblivious, the guard pretty much gets some inmates to pretty much jump him and start beating him up and picking on him. And then the guard pretty much tries to play the hero and say, okay, so you do stuff for me, like give me your little snacks from commissary and whatever, and I'll make sure they stop beating you up. So he does stuff like that. But even though he the one that got them to mess with him in the first place. You know how much of a mind rape that shit is?
Yeah, then on top of that, like the whole like when they got his ass whooped, I went to the nurse like, nah, I'm gonna just work this out. Like I'm not gonna go to the nursery. They beat the shit out of him. Man. Yeah, he pretty much could have died.
He was so scared, man. He was trying to ask the nurse for help, and she was like, I can't help you, because she knew that same security guard was not too far away, kind of paying attention. So she looked over like, I can't help you. As long as he around, I can't help you, bro. So, because she was like, I'm not getting mixed up in that. So it's hard, man, when you in there by yourself, you know what I mean, and you have nobody to help you. And he was begging for people to like write him letters or let him write, anything. And no, he couldn't get nobody to, none of the other dudes to really do anything, because everybody was too scared. Like his mom was like, I'm not going to try to convince nobody else to write you no letters, because I don't want to get, we don't want to get too deep in that shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's hard right there too, when you're struggling and you just want to feel a connection to somebody and you getting shut down on that.
Yeah, what was crazy too, another thing was crazy, like him, like the whole, him in the jail, like it was in solitary, and all the stuff that was going through his mind.
Yeah.
Like, like him going through what was it, Coney Island?
Yeah, Coney Island, yeah.
Yeah, he did all that in his mind, and like all the people that was like, all the people that he was, close to, like, his brother being in there in the jail with him, like, in his mind, talking to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just
crazy, man. So, definitely, man, I can't tell y'all enough. Please go watch this. It's really a good, story. Now, he went through a lot, and, eventually, of course, we know they all got exonerated. But, what's really messed up is there are people right now who were involved that are now saying that this docuseries is a fabrication and that they're lying. There's a detective who said he was the lead detective on the situation, Eric Reynolds.
Someone who knows only of this case, what they watched in that 4-part series, would come away thinking that the admissions, the videotaped admissions, were all coerced, that this was all a result of cops who were acting in a nefarious way to railroad those 5 individuals. As one of the police officers who made critical arrests in this case, you would respond how?
Oh, that's ridiculous. All you need to do is look at the videos. Watch the videos. Look at each one of the defendants. See if they're being coerced. See if they're sleep deprived. You'll see their parents are in every single video. You'll see in every single video their rights are being read to them. It's a blatant lie. It's unfortunate.
He don't show him in the documentary, but he says he was the lead one, and he's saying that pretty much all the stuff that they're saying, most of it is lies. So, he's like saying that they got a ton of evidence, saying that, they was able to, they got blood and semen evidence. Okay, but why the hell they get exonerated then if you got so much evidence?
Exactly. None of the shit was in that. My thing though is, well, let me ask you this, because you was actually watching some more of the interviews.
Yeah.
And, you know what I'm saying? And I actually remember, like I said, a couple episodes back, I actually remember when they was on, what was it? They was on, not them personally, but they did a documentary on 20 Minutes a couple years, like a few years after they got arrested, and they were saying that they handled that wrong.
Yeah, you're probably talking about the Ken Burns documentary. He did a documentary on him back in 2012. So I've been wanting to check that out too. I haven't seen that, but he did his own documentary on them. So I don't know if he's trying to relay the facts or if he's like them and he believes they're still guilty. But we're gonna have to check that out. We'll get back to y'all on that, because that's interesting. I think from what I read, I think he's following all the evidence that proves that they're innocent. You know what I mean? I think that's my opinion, but I don't know yet. So yeah, we definitely gotta talk about them. But one thing really quick I want to mention, the detective, Eric Reynolds, he was talking about the character that was played in the documentary. Felicity Huffman plays Linda Fairstein.
Yeah.
And so he was saying that the character that she played, he laughed because there's a part, he said that there's a part in the movie where she says, I want you to gather up all the men in Harlem so that, because they're all possibly guilty.
Okay, I actually laughed out loud when I saw the Felicity Huffman playing Linda Fairstein implore the police to go out and round up all black men in Harlem. I thought that was absolutely preposterous. It never happened. Linda Fairstein was never even in the precinct that day when the investigation was started.
First, all the men in Harlem. Now, I've watched this documentary. She never said that. What she said was, get all the men who were in the park that night. All the black men who were in the park that night. She never said get all the black men in Harlem. So he made it seem like she was trying to be, like they were portraying her more widely racist. Like she was saying, yeah, all black men in Harlem are guilty. What she said was all the black men who were in that park that night. Gather them up so that we can find out what the hell was going on. Now, she might be racist. I don't know. But I'm saying, don't get out there trying to spread lies on this documentary when that's not what was said. You know what I mean?
I need that whole group. I have some of them and descriptions of others, but I need all of them. Every young black male who was in the park last night is a suspect in the rape of that woman who is fighting for her life right now. I want units out strong. Come on, guys. What did we miss? Let's get an army of blue up in Harlem. You go into those projects and you stop every little thug you see. You bring in every kid who was in the park last night.
His thoughts that they're still innocent, still guilty to some degree. So what he's basically doing is saying that even though somebody else came forward and admitted they did it, these guys were there too and they did something too. Like, yeah, this other guy might have raped her, but after he was finished, one or two of the dudes from the Central Park 5 jumped in there and raped her as well.
If it's 1 or 2, so you're really going to get all 5 of them back?
Right.
It's just one.
Yeah.
And then, like, my thing of it is, like, the dude confessed. The dude was real, and actually, shout out to that dude. I mean, even though it's kind of fucked up, but, like, he's up there he was really just like, hey, man, he found a new way, you know, he got saved or whatnot.
Yeah.
And, you know, and he was like, hey, I got to pay for what I did. Mm-hmm. I mean, really, that guy, to me, even though he did what he did and it was fucked up, I can respect him more because there was like an honor in it than you guys that they're trying to fucking, we just got to get everybody. We just got to get everybody black that did just so that, I mean, you know, and it was fucked up for the lady that, you know, that she went through there, but it's just like, man. Like,
and what made it hard on them, you know, was because the lady who actually was the victim in this whole thing, she never specified who did it. So she more so was just traumatized and just saying, oh, I'm just so messed up from the situation. I don't know exactly who did it. All I know is I got raped and I got beat up and blah, blah, blah. So I don't know if she was lying because they said that the cops were kind of real friendly with her. Like they might have told, I wonder if they might have told her, don't specify anything, you know, because we don't know which one of these guys did it. Just, you know, don't specify. So she never specified. But, funny thing about the guy who admitted that he did it, his name is Mateus Reyes. So basically, this guy, the lead detective I spoke about, Eric Reynolds, he's basically saying that the reason that Mateus Reyes admitted he did it is because when Corey was in prison, they were in the same area in Rikers Island. Corey had people in there threatening Mateus, saying, I need you to admit that you did it so that I can get the hell out of here. really? Corey's like a kid. He ain't got nobody who want to lie for him like that.
Yeah, he didn't have any connections.
Right. So like he had gangs of connections and making them threaten the dude. And here's what happened. I seen an interview with the actual Central Park 5. They said that this dude, Mateus Reyes, this is something that's not even in the documentary. They said that he did not readily confess. They had to convince him over time because he was so scared to admit that, because what happened was he told somebody, but then he went to the priest, the chaplain. You know how you got confessional.
Yeah.
They had that for the prisoners. So he went and told that person in confession, okay, here's what it is. I'm the one who really did it, but since it's between me and you, I'm not afraid to admit it. But this chaplain person was like, honestly, that's kind of messed up, man. You got to do it. If you really want to be saved and lead a new life of godliness, you need to confess to what was going on. So eventually they keep kind of poking and prodding until it gets up to the highest level that he did it. So it wasn't that he, got threatened to do it. It was more so, people just kept saying, come on, man, it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do, you know what I mean? And eventually he admitted it, out in the open. He had admitted it, but he just didn't want to go openly with it because I guess he felt guilty because now he's trying to lead a new godly life and he probably felt bad about it. So, but that's how the Central Park 5 said that's how it happened. He admitted it to this chaplain in a private confessional, and that dude kind of convinced him, look, man, we got to do this. We got to do the right thing. So that's what happened with that. Then another thing about, and I went back and I actually watched the real interviews, the real confessional videos where the kids are confessing to the cops that they quote unquote did it. Now, the documentary shows that each one of them had different stories.
Yup.
Not one of their stories matched up.
Yeah.
This guy, the lead detective Eric Reynolds, is saying if you go back and watch the real video, the real interview, you'll see, you know what I mean, that's not the case. That what did he say? He said you'll see that they were never coerced into saying nothing. My thing is this. No, you don't see them being coerced on the actual interview video. Why would you? They were coerced before that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? And you can clearly see that these kids are super nervous, especially Corey Wise.
Yeah.
His was one of the worst. I mean, he kept getting so nervous. He kept having to change the story. Because he would say something like,
well, the thing about it, too, he wasn't even on the damn list.
Yeah, he wasn't even involved.
He was involved with his friends, like, all right,
They just asked him, do you want to come down to the precinct to support your kid, your friend? And he was like, all right, yeah, because my moms know him and she'll get mad at me if I don't. Or his mom, or whatever. So, Corey said a dude named Steve and Raymond had sex with the lady in his interview.
See, I remember that on the 2020 joint. It was way back, because the story was conflicting. Yeah. That's what he said. It was Steve that did it.
Yeah, Steve. He said Raymond did it, and then Steve did it. I think he said Steve was first, and then Raymond after him.
Yeah.
And then when they asked Raymond, he said, it was Kevin that had sex with her. Then when they asked Kevin, he said it was Antron that had sex with her. My thing is, and they even say it in the documentary, all of their stories lined up because, for one, the part of the park of Central Park that they were in was not near where the actual rape happened. But the cops was trying to find a way to connect it, you know what I mean? So they kept trying to make them say, okay, so yeah, we was in the park, we was doing this, and we was wilding out, and then we got up with this lady, blah, blah, blah. When they was in the park and they was, wilding a little bit, they were just being kids, being energetic, and they might have, you know what I mean, messed with some random people, you know what I mean, but they didn't rape nobody. That's the thing, you know what I mean. And I don't even know if they messed with anybody, period. But I know, being from New York and being from that same area, sometimes when it's a gang of y'all might be a little mischievous. You know what I mean? You might go in there and you might see a random homeless person and mess with them a little bit. You know what I mean? Let's see if you got any money on them. Let's,
Yeah.
But you don't, you know what I mean? But they wasn't down with no rape. You know what I mean? These kids didn't even know nothing about sex. You can see it in the video.
Yeah.
It was
especially the one that was fucked up. The younger one was 14, man.
Yeah, I mean, in the real interviews, you can see the ladies ask them stuff like, "So, did anybody masturbate?" And they're like, "I don't even know what that is. What is that, ma'am?" And she's like, "Did anybody perform anal sex on her?" And they're like, I don't even know what that is. You know what I mean? You can tell that they were just as confused by most of the stuff she was saying, and eventually, they just like, he did such and such, because they just wanted to get out of there. You know what I mean? So it's so messed up, man. I actually have went and watched. Y'all should go see it, because Eric Reynolds, the detective, he'll tell you, go watch the real video. You'll see. They weren't nervous. They weren't coerced. Yeah, I mean, you don't see them being coerced on the video because that's after the fact. The detectives had them in other private rooms coercing them, and then after that, they went into the interview room. Who gonna be stupid enough to try to coerce them on camera?
And who's be stupid enough to like, I did this, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, Come on, man. People that deal, at least deal with the police. I won't even say criminal, but people that deal with the police, they know, like, I'm not going to tell y'all shit. It's y'all job to figure this shit out.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. So my thing is the same thing that you telling people to do to prove your part is actually proving you wrong. Mm-hmm. You telling
NYPD is looking real fucking silly right now.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even get with that, man. You know what I mean? It's crooked cops everywhere, but it's really sad that,
I just don't get how people have they have this warped sense of reality.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's so much bullshit, but they want everybody in on their bullshit.
Yeah.
But it's bullshit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because your perception has been warped by
so much.
By your badge has gotten in your way.
And it's
so you're looking at it from your perspective.
Like we gotta get these black kids. We gotta get these poor black kids because they are the one that did this.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's really sad, man, that they would even go to those lengths. Now, of course, none of us were there, so we don't know. All we know is, there are some tapes out there with the interviews and stuff like that on them. But based on what I've seen, I completely believe these kids were coerced. Because when you see the videos, every last one of them keeps making mistakes in their interview where the lady has to keep asking them over and over again. So you said Steve was the one that had sex with him earlier, but now you're saying such and such had sex with him. And then, so which one was it? And then next thing you know, they're like, it's what I said earlier. No, wait, let me think about it. You can tell they just trying to gather their thoughts, like, what do I say now? Because I just want to stay in the least amount of trouble. Because basically they're promising them, if you just tell us the truth, you can go home. Yep. That was the biggest fucking lie they ever told them kids, man. You know what I mean? That's so messed up. So, hold on, let's see.
Yeah, we got, I think the joint right there.
Alright, so Instagram.
Yes, brother, shut us down.
They left us high and dry, so we gonna get back with y'all.
Yeah, we're gonna have to beat up them. Not for real though, but we just saying.
Yeah, so we don't want to get no trouble, but yeah, so that's it's really sad, man. But I implore y'all, please go look at this movie and also check the facts for yourself. You know what I mean? Because you can see for yourself that something was definitely wrong with these kids. And like in Corey's situation, in his interview, he changed his story even after the interview was over. They interviewed him for hours on end, and she even specified at the end of the interview, she was like, okay, we're about to end the interview. I just want to make sure, is there anything else that you want to change about your story, or is this the final truth, blah, blah, blah. And he said, no, this is it. That's the whole truth, nothing but the truth. And she's like, all right, cool, so we're going to end the interview. Then you see a part 2 come to the interview where she says, okay, so I'm understanding that you've been talking to the detectives and now you want to tell me some new information. And so he's like, yeah, I lied. earlier, I said that all the other guys was doing stuff and I wasn't, but actually I was, so I was part of it too. So it's like, to me, there was some more coercion. That's even more evidence of coercion, because my thing is, you specify, you kept this kid in there for I don't know how long, and you told him, look, you know, if you got, and so that's another thing that old boy is trying to say is proof that they didn't do nothing wrong, because he's saying the parents were always in the room when they were interviewing them. Now, there are parts of the interview where parents was in there, but there's also parts where the parents were not in there. You know what I mean? Like for instance, the Hispanic dude, Raymond Santana, his I think it was his grandmother was there, and eventually halfway through the interview, not even halfway, just in the first few minutes, they carry her out. Because they're like, okay, well, she don't understand English that good, so let's just get her out so she ain't got to interrupt nothing. So she wasn't even present for the whole interview. And that happened with somebody else's family too. So it's just like, what kind of shit is that? But I don't know, man. I just, based on what I've seen, I completely believe that they were coerced, and that what happened in that movie was how it happened.
We don't wish nothing bad on the NYPD.
Right. But
God damn it, we don't wish nothing good on the movie.
But, you know what I mean? For that, man.
We really don't.
You know what I mean? It's like, for you know, and I'll say more specifically, the people who are lying about this, like this Eric Reynolds guy and Fairstein and all of them.
Don't wish nothing bad on you.
Yeah, I really don't have no love for them at all.
Motherfucker, I don't wish nothing good on you.
Yeah, so y'all, if you want, you can go look up Detective Eric Reynolds' objections to the whole documentary. He's been interviewed on CNN and Daily Mail TV, talking about how it's all a lie and blah, blah, blah. So you can check that out if you want. But the real truth is in the interviews. Look at the interviews. They are online, the real interviews, and you can see